play ball. Welcome to the podcast with no limits. Whether it be sports, current events, or random thoughts, this is the place to step in and stay a while. Your host is a proud alumnus of Rio Hondo Prep, a former minor league baseball umpire, and a man with strong opinions. Welcome to the Get Home Safe podcast and your host, Matt Hersema.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Get Home Safe. It is Thursday, September 8th. It is day one of the NFL season starting. 272 games on the schedule starting today with your defending, reigning Super Bowl champion, Los Angeles Rams. Is the mic working? I sure hope it is. It looks like we're on, but who knows? Who knows? I sure hope it is. I hope you all can hear me loud and clear. Yes, your LA Rams, LA's first professional sports team, and the most recent champion of Los Angeles, a champion really that your LA champion that didn't win a shortened season like the Dodgers did in baseball, like the Lakers did in basketball. No real asterisks on this championship. A banner will be unveiled tonight, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, 2021 Super Bowl champion, Los Angeles Rams. And it's a special day. It's a special day. Got up early, set up my camera crew here at SoFi Stadium. It took some work to, get in the building and such, but we're here. If you're watching on YouTube, or not watching on YouTube, I should say, we are high above SoFi Stadium in the cheap seats, if you will. With our precious background. This is, it doesn't say Super Bowl champs anywhere. I don't know why yet. Oh, well. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. You know what? It's a new season upon us, and things can change rather quickly here in professional sports, especially in the NFL. A lot of times, teams that made the playoffs don't make the playoffs. So a lot can change, but I'm pretty confident in my Rams. And I got to tell you, it's a lot like playing with house money going into a season when everything you ever wanted worked out last year. The Rams not only won the Super Bowl, they won it in Los Angeles as a LA team on their home field. I mean, it was perfect. They beat those 49ers in the playoffs after losing to them so many games in a row. They beat Tom Brady. I mean, I'm on a high. I don't want to retire from my fandom, but pretty much anything that happens this year, if things go bad, go south, I'm going to be okay. I say that now on the morning of September 8th. And I thought about recording and releasing an episode the day after the big game here against the Bills. But I was like, no, let's just hype it up. Let's just do that. Let's be annoying for the fans out there and just embrace last year one final time and then look ahead, right? The rest of the season. And I am hoping this is one of two matchups with the Buffalo Bills, if you know what I mean. And some of you don't know what I mean, which infuriates me. There are grown men on this planet that don't know which teams are in the AFC and which teams are in the NFC. There are grown men on this planet that don't know which teams are in which conference. The NFC West, the AFC South. People don't know these division alignments. Maybe it doesn't matter to you in baseball or basketball or hockey, but in football, it matters. And I know there's changes that, the Atlanta Falcons used to be in the NFC West with the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. That was a weird time. But now it's pretty regionally based. Four team divisions in each conference times 2, 32 teams. Some of you are like, why are you telling me this? It's like, because you don't know. That's why. Oh, anyway, LA Rams, world champs. It's still, you know what? Let's get this towel here. Let's go. Let's go. One final time. And I'm hoping to do this again. What does this say? You guys see what this says? Just want you to read this. So all my Bay Area fans, world champion, LA Rams. Be waving this tonight, baby. Buffalo Bills come into Inglewood. That's going to be a true test. Josh Allen is quite the competitor. He's a big man. I don't like my quarterbacks running a lot. And hey, we'll see. We'll see if Aaron Donald and the boys can keep him contained, because he's a beast. He can sling it. The Bills defense is solid too. So I'm curious. It's a great week 1 matchup. I think it's awesome that to unveil the banner. They already did the rings a few weeks ago, I guess. But Von Miller playing for the Buffalo Bills now, he's going to be in attendance to see the banner. I think that's pretty special for him. His second Super Bowl now after winning one with the Denver Broncos. And speaking of the Broncos, very high expectations for that team this year. They're playing in the toughest division in football. I'm not going to make big predictions this year because I tried that last year and it was awful. But I do have some thoughts. I think all the talk is obviously with the Broncos and the Chiefs. I really do like the Chargers. That's a tough division. Don't sleep on the Raiders either, but I like the Chargers, man, to really step their game up this year. I know they're the Clippers of the NFL, but keep an eye on that team, man. It's gonna be awesome if both these LA teams really get going. And the Rams have, since the NFL went to the 17-game schedule, you have nine home games one year and then 8 home games the next year, and they rotate between AFC and NFC. And so as it works out this year, the Rams have their 9 home games, but they also have a road game at SoFi Stadium. So 10 games they're going to play out of their 17 in their own building. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, we hope for a few more after that. But winning the Super Bowl on your home field in Los Angeles right after the stadium is built, that's incredible. I mean, I couldn't have scripted it better. And it wasn't easy. Plenty of bitten fingernails, plenty of stress, being down in losing to the Niners, trailing, I should say, trailing the Bengals late in the Super Bowl, the comeback. I mean, it was just so special, so beautiful. And I don't like to live in the past, but so many NFL teams do. I mean, why can't I? Why am I not allowed to live in the past a little bit? I mean, Cowboy fans still looking at black and white video about when they were last successful. Do you know the Jets have more playoff victories than the Cowboys since 90? What was their last good year? 95 when they won the Super Bowl. I mean, hate to tell you, Cat. We're approaching. I mean, we're well into the 20s now. You get the 20s, the teens, the aughts. Is that what the 05s, the 03s are called? I mean, the 90s are a long time ago. I mean, look at me. I was at my peak in the 90s, I thought, or starting to come of age, if you will. 90s are great times. A lot of championships on those Gator teams in Carey Youth League. But you can't live in the past forever. I always talk about recent relevance. And I'm holding on to this whole. I've been through some rough years with the Rams football, and try to hold on to this as long as possible. Be a little annoying at times. I try not to spew nonsense. I try to be factual, which I know is weird. I try to share with my audience about truth. I try to say, when the Rams play terrible. I try to say when 49ers are good. I try not to pump up teams that are bad and teams that live in the past. I think, like on my Charge to Keep podcast, I try to honor the past while embracing the future type of deal. And I just don't think enough people do that. Some people don't have a great historical past, and that's why all you have to look to is the future. But there's got to be a balance, right? And rooting for a team, it's rather symbolic of life, just as far as your fanaticism, your expectations, you pulling for things you have no control over, while not controlling the things you should, like, I'm going to buy tickets for this game just because I want to go. And I have bills, but I'll pay those late. I don't do that. I'm not saying I do. I still haven't been to a game at the new SoFi Stadium, and I will one day, but it's mighty pricey, and this podcast doesn't quite pay enough. But anyway, I hope you all will be entertained this evening with the LA Rams defending their Super Bowl championship, playing on the field that they hoisted the Lombardi Trophy a few months ago. It's a new NFL season. Can't wait. I talked to you guys last week. If you didn't get a chance to listen to my podcast, I laid it out, I thought, quite well in detail about availability during the football season. Pretty much Tuesdays and Wednesdays are your only times. Maybe in the mornings on Mondays or Thursdays. Maybe Fridays too, just because, the afternoons traveling to high school games. Thursday, you got NFL. I don't want to repeat myself, but plan accordingly. Whether it's a baby shower or a, wedding or funeral, whatever. Some of these gatherings too, like I like backyard barbecues. I like I don't even know. You ever get an invite to something and it's just like you're just trying too hard. What is this? Okay, I get Halloween party, Christmas party, or hey, just a summer barbecue. But sometimes someone will like label something all fancy and be like, it's like, dude, we're just coming over for some appetizers and drinks. Why are you calling it the Academy Awards? I don't even know what some of these things, these invites. I don't get many of them, and people understand probably why. But I will move on. That, like Val said the other day, she said, "Oh, it's funny you think you're funny." It's like, I don't think I'm funny, but I think I was teasing her about something, and she had a few good quotes. I got to tell you, my young lady, and this year we are celebrating our how many years has it been? It's wow. It's our yeah, this is Valerie. This is how I celebrate things. She probably doesn't like this, but this is our 6th football season together. I mean, that's magical. People say romance is dead and gone. I think it's alive and well. If you just work with each other. And a few things I want to point out in my lovely girlfriend. I mean, she taught, usually it's the women training the men. I have kind of Jedi'd her a little bit with a few things she's picked up. So I was watching a game, of course, last weekend, and she went to walk by the TV and she saw that the snap was imminent. The snap of the ball was about to happen. I didn't say a word. She walked, she turned to the right, she saw the play, the snap was imminent, and she paused and she stopped and she just stood there for 12 seconds or whatever. And she just looked at me with like this look of disdain. And my mouth was open like, oh, babe, like, I love you so much. And she just rolled her eyes. And I can't believe I do this stuff. And I'm just like, you've learned you need to train or educate, spread the gospel of good girlfriend, football watching etiquette, spread it. You have a responsibility now that you know. The work is great. The harvest is great. The workers are few. I've heard that before somewhere. Probably the Bible wasn't talking about this, but we can apply it. Spread the word. And of course I say these things and this is where you think you're funny. It's funny you think you're funny comments come from. She's got a little wit to her, which I definitely enjoy. But so the best part, it's funny how people who don't care about the things we care about, how they express themselves about it. She said, so the game ends and it was pretty late and I kind of been watching stuff most of the day. And she was like, she said, and I quote, "Do you need to watch their thank you speeches?" That's what she meant by like the post-game interview. And I was just like, you know what? Touche. That was nice. That was a good one. No, I don't need to, because I can watch them on YouTube the next day or something. So I said, no, let's watch, whatever, Big Bang Theory or whatever you want to watch now. That was fantastic. Do you need to watch their thing? And she was sincere. She wanted to know how much time she had. So just a few things there, fellas, in training. My lady gets it, and she doesn't have to understand it or like it, but she gets it. And that's huge. Much like we need to get it. We need to be the ones at times that adapt or die, if you will, right, fellas? Things need to be clean. I guess things need to be bought. We don't always see the world this way, but we need to be copacetic. We need to be teamwork, right? We need to work together. Otherwise you won't get that wonderful treatment, and when you're living at a smaller place, very tight quarters here, like a submarine at times, you need those etiquettes. And I know the pause button is great. Look, I stream most of my TV viewing, so it's great. She wants to walk by, I can pause something, but it's the principle, right? And it's all about love, the rhythm of love, and the love of the game. Let's just call it that. Love her. She's doing great. She's hanging in there. Our third one together, Val. Our 6th. I know what some of you are thinking. Super Bowl time. I know. I'll get to that. Anyway, let's move around a few things. I want to talk about a very serious subject, if you will. And that is the assault on Californians from above, from our overlords, from the authoritarian regime that we live in here in California. Oh, the sun is shining. And you know what? I got something to say. I got 4 words for Governor Gavin and his attack on us and us peasants and what we're allowed to spend. I have 4 words for you, Governor Gavin. My thermostat, my choice. Yes, that's right. I'll put that thermostat whatever I want it to be at. I don't need permission from you because you know what I do? I pay for that thermostat. And you're not going to tell me what I have, the way in which I have to pay for something. Can you imagine if sports operated this way? Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I know you Hulu subscribers. Look at we know sports get a lot of viewing, but for these hours between 5 and 10 p.m., I'm just throwing those out because those are more sportsy viewing times. Or 4 or 9 p.m. like he says with his thermostat warfare. From 4 to 9, we would prefer if you not watch sports on Hulu because we need to give some viewing to the other television shows that are struggling a little bit. And you know, they pay for advertising as well. And it's just in this extreme sports viewing time, you know, the heat is up, pun intended. We need you to kind of, if you would please. No, I will watch what I want to watch. I will have the thermostat of what I want. I will buy the foods that I want. You don't tell citizens what they are and are allowed to purchase. You establish laws. That's fine. You're supposed to watch after our safety and then get out of the way. Why is it certain leaders love to I swear people love playing chess on the chessboard. Oh, I can let me ruin lives over here. Let me do this. Most of the best leaders get out of the way. Stop promoting policies that we have to attempt to live by. Oh, and this is for climate change. If we turn, it's this extreme heat. Let me get this straight. So this whole climate thing, it's devastating. It's the reason everything is really hot right now is because we power too much. We use too much gas. So because it's so dangerous during probably the hottest time of the day, we want you to turn your air conditioning off from 4 to 9, not off, 78 degrees. Where'd you come up with that number? I haven't set my thermostat at 78 degrees in my entire lifetime. I might set the thermostat to 78 in the winter when it's a little chilly out. That's another thing. Did you notice? I want you guys to pull up the video. I could probably pull it up now, but I want you guys to do it. When Governor Gavin makes this great proclamation, like he's a Star Wars villain. Did you notice he's talking about thermostat at 78 degrees? Did you notice what he's wearing? He wasn't wearing a tank top or a t-shirt. He was wearing a fleece. Now, I'm no detective, but I would say that the room he was in was probably not set at 78 degrees if he's wearing a fleece while telling you, the citizens of California, to set your thermostat to 78 degrees. It's just a hunch. Well, maybe it was cold outside, Matt. Maybe he was in the Bay Area. The Bay Area doesn't, it gets cold even in the summer. But Sacramento is headquarters, I would say, and it doesn't get cold there. So during this heat wave, this proclamation is made about lowering or raising your thermostats. The man's wearing maybe he runs cold. I don't know. I've lost track of Governor Newsom's patterns, really. I mean, he tells people to wear masks and you can't go to restaurants, and then he does it. I mean, why would he not tell people, hey, raise your thermostat to 78 so that I can lower mine to 68 and wear this fleece so that my hair doesn't get messed up. It's nice and slicked and the gel doesn't, melt. Why? You guys got to start paying attention to this stuff. I know Californians are just like, oh man, peace and love. This is great. We have this great weather. It's hot right now though. How come every time it's hot, you get all global warming, climate change? All right. Okay. I'm listening. Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah. We need to change some things. And every time it's cold and stormy, this is climate change. Wait, I thought didn't you just say when it was really hot, it's climate change? Well, yeah, but now it's cold too. So help me out. We have extreme heat, extreme cold. So what's it supposed to be? Are you telling me weather is supposed to be like a thermostat set perfectly at 73 degrees? I'm losing track of the of the rules here. What? It's too hot. No, it's too hot. It was global warming. Then it was too cold. Oh, no, we're going to change it. When you change the name to climate change, that's when I was like, all right, I'm out. Much like when Lord Fauci, when he threw out the first pitch of the 2020 baseball season in Washington, D.C., when they played that shortened 60-game season, they started it in June, no fans or whatever. Everyone had to wear masks. When Lord Fauci showed up in a Nationals jersey and he wore number 19, his jersey said Fauci 19 on it, making a mockery of COVID-19, I was done. I said, okay, these guys, you're not taking this serious. This is, okay, I'm out. Much like no protests allowed for reopening things. Oh, wait, but racial injustice. Now, that's okay. You can do that one. And it's not, don't get caught up into the technicalities of it. It's the conflicting messaging. As soon as it's like, okay, people are compromised. Nope, I'm not listening. I'm not doing it. I don't care. Well, it's just, no. You had your chance. You blew it. So, Overlord Newsome, I will not turn down my air conditioning. Turn it up, excuse me. And I want to ask, so all these poor families you say you care about all the time. What is it? Underprivileged or something of some nonsense. Again, some other made up word from the left. What about all these families you care about? All these families bunched into an apartment. 5, 6, 7 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. You want them to turn their air conditioning up? You don't care about them? You're going to turn their power grids off? Is that what you're going to do? Why is it California's power grid can't handle these things, but other parts of the country? Well, Matt, there's more people here, the population. Well, yeah, but there's more of everything then. There's more power grid. There's more. It's the policies implemented that move the cost of energy through the roof. So therefore, it's harder to produce energy. Why is this difficult to understand? Well, Matt, you don't understand. Well, fine. I have a simple mind, and I try to get straight to the point with things. You implement policies that make energy harder to produce. Wait, it's hard to produce energy now? I thought we were saving everybody. We're saving the world and the planet. I'm losing track, man. Losing track of this stuff. And the beautiful part, the cherry on top of the Super Bowl trophy is we're gonna get rid of cars by 2030. Gas powered cars by 2035, or you could just call them cars, because 90 whatever percent of them are gas powered. So you're gonna get rid of those. You want everyone to have electric vehicles. Okay, all right, I'm listening. Yeah, but please don't charge your vehicles between the hours of 4 and 9 because we have a power grid shortage. Wait, what? So what you're missing, you're missing the whole big picture again, is them, it's the same them all the time, who are trying little by little to control you, to control the way in which you operate your life. Okay, you hear terms thrown around all the time, like fascist and dictator. You hear that stuff thrown around all the time. But who are the people? Usually the people saying those things. I've said this before. It's usually the people crying wolf, or crying wolf, is that right? Accusing of something that are actually doing it or believing it. It's just, I've said it repeatedly. When you don't think someone of a certain race is capable of getting an ID, that's not racist to you. That is like one of the most racist things I've ever heard of. If someone said, hey, Matt, you couldn't, we don't think you should have a voter ID because guys from Netherlands, it's hard for them to get an ID. So we're not going to make it a law. Like, wait, it's kind of discriminating. Why don't you think I can get an ID? Anyway, that's an example. Voter, not laws, voter rights. Yes, that is taking away rights, having someone provide an ID, much like you have to do for to get on a plane or to purchase certain things. But anyway, I digress. So again, fascists, dictators, look up fascism. And I know it says like, oh, if it's a far right ideology, I don't think guys like Hitler and Mussolini were far right guys, people who take away guns and human rights and things. Dictators do implement policies that are authoritarian, that you will do this, or and they preach it as a way, this is for the betterment of the country, like vaccine mandate. You will get a vaccine or you will lose your job. Those same people are calling other parties fascists and dictators. Isn't it weird? Isn't that ironic? It's always that way. I'm telling you. If we just open our eyes a little bit here, rules for thee, not for me. Senator Palpatine. I mean, Gavin Newsome. It's always, if you just pay attention more, analyze it, ask yourself questions, start asking yourself questions. Is, wait, why did they say that right now? Don't be like, well, they said, and don't get me wrong. I respect authority. I just don't respect authoritarianism. This, like, you will comply. And then they guilt trip you. Well, you don't care about other people. Is that why you don't? Is that why you? Well, what? Hang on. What are we saying? What are we doing? So California continues to be just raining downhill. And I thought my buddy Fred posted a great picture. It took me a second, but it showed an airplane like they do in those fire drops when they drop. It's not water, it's some type of chemical to put out fires, forest fires and stuff. And it just had this red like powder dropping out of it, and it said California state bird. And it took me a second. I was like, oh, that's like Kool-Aid. Like, yeah, just drink the Kool-Aid, everybody. If you don't get that reference, look it up. Jim Jones drinking the Kool-Aid. Well, you'll get that phrase from. Anyway, people, we have to stop listening. I'm not saying revolt. I'm not saying storm the Sacramento Capitol. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm saying stop listening to stupid ideas. Think for yourself. Don't be a sheep. Open your eyes. Open your ears. Oh, why is the power grid bad? Stupid decisions on fighting climate change to raise prices. And then when this happens, because you raise the prices to fight climate change, and then you can't afford to run power or run the air conditioning, then you turn around and say, well, yeah, this is because of climate change. Do you see the cycle of events? I don't know if it's getting hotter. Right now, it seems very hot. I don't know if the planet is dying. Doesn't seem like it. But that's my other point to these this religion, and it is a religion. If people truly believed it, they would do more. Celebrities wouldn't buy mansions right on the seashores because, water levels are rising. Peasants like me, if you truly believed that all these things were causing damage, you wouldn't live in a house or apartment. You wouldn't have air conditioning. You wouldn't have a car. Why don't you ride your bike to work? Why do you have air conditioning? You shouldn't have those things. You're destroying the planet. But you don't believe them. It makes you feel good to spew off nonsense, to say, oh, well, this, but we have to do this, we have to do that. You do. When I see you, not have 7 houses, not have private jets, okay, maybe I'll believe you. Well, Matt, they have to do those things that, they're still doing the greater good. Okay, how about regular civilians, which is kind of their goal? They want people to live in tents outdoors with no air conditioning. That's what they want. Look around Los Angeles. You think, why has nothing been done about the homeless issue? Oh, that's weird. I'm the conspiracy theorist? No, look around. Open your eyes. If you truly believed you were a, what's the word? Existential threat. That's the good one. That's the big one. If you really were, if you really believe those things, you wouldn't use air conditioning ever. You wouldn't well, this is on Native American land. Well, if you always hear that one too, well, then give it back. Don't call up the local reservation and say, I want to donate my piece of land back because this is stolen land. These are just, you gotta, that's why I have no hair. I'm going to get off I don't even know if this is politics really. This is just venting away. So if you truly do believe things, hey man, all the power to you. Go all in. But then well, I kind of believe, like, yeah, well, everyone needs to do this. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Everyone needs to do this or it won't work. So you mean if America, raises the prices of gas and limits drilling and oiling and all that stuff, that'll make the rest of the world will follow in line? What about China? What about other countries that are polluting the world? Isn't it a global thing? All right, I'm gonna get off this because I'm gonna start losing my mind. Anyway, one other. Let me see. Oh, two other quotes from my lovely lady Valerie, just to kind of, change the mood here a little bit. I write down these things when she says them because I was watching various games and trying to find, especially Sunday, having no NFL on. There was some other college football on. I was like, she's like, I thought you said there was only one game later on today, and I was like, yeah, but there might be some like Division II on. And she said, she goes, she was mimicking me. She's like, oh, anything, just put it in my veins. Division II. She goes, is there a high school game in Nova Scotia you need to watch? What about Prince Edward Island? Is there a college there? I just laugh and going, no, I already checked. But she thinks I'm crazy. And my comment is always like, okay, that's fine. You're allowed to think I'm crazy, but you choose crazy. You chose this. What does it say about you? Love you. Just kidding about all the funny stuff. All right. So that's something we watched together was the Manti Te'o doc. Finally saw that, the 2-part documentary on that craziness that happened. And I thought I knew most of the story, but man, it's worth the watch for sure. It's on Netflix. Each episode, there's 2 episodes, about an hour each. So you go through it rather quickly. And I feel bad about some of my thoughts about Manti Te'o after watching this because without giving anything away, I mean, this really was a good kid that was just caught up. He was focused. He was driven. Why you wouldn't meet a girlfriend for a couple of years, I don't know. But hey, to each his own. And he was, a Mormon kid and someone that was very had an extreme faith. Should have gone to USC, but that's a different story. So you guys got to see this. And what I came away from it is this. Again, breaking it down, and the story's crazy, but the Manti Te'o doc is an indictment on the media. And what I mean by that is it was like the beginning of this lack of fact checking. And I think it was Deadspin, which not The Athletic. It was Deadspin, which was a very minor news outlet, right? Only had a handful of employees. They ended up doing the digging and breaking the story that, hey, this guy's girlfriend who died didn't exist. This whole thing's a hoax. And it was after that, in the aftermath, the embarrassment of the news outlets. This is what I gathered from it. Watching ESPN, watching ABC, CBS, Good Morning America, all these different outlets where they turn their attention as this attack on Manti Te'o, questioning his sexuality, which I'm like, what does that have to do with any? That is nothing, asking him point blank on, hey, are you gay? And it's like, well, why are you asking him these things? And then I guess there's a reason why, if you guys watch the documentary, but to me, it was an indictment on him. And it was like, you accuse us of not telling the facts. We will deflect and say things like, hey, well, you're gay. Well, they didn't. The most powerful news media outlets in the world did not fact check or like dig into this story. When this, the best college football player at the time, arguably one of the top 5, when his girlfriend died, and it was the country rallied around him. There was no fact checking. Nope. I thought we were fact checking, right? Accuracy, investigation, reporting. It was all just this fluff and love and this is wonderful. And then so when Deadspin comes out with the truth, then all the news outlets, CNN, ESPN, everybody, they turn on a dime and they start attacking this guy because they didn't do their job. You see how it works? Some of the things he I guess withheld, but private life is also, I don't know, private life. You shouldn't get asked point blank on national television, what your sexuality is or whatever, as an example. They were trying to paint him in a corner, paint him as this, I don't know, religious fanatic, which they love to do. Dennis Prager says this, and I've quoted him a lot. He says, you never noticed they never said that there's no secular fanatics. It's only religious fanatics. Like, man, that's a great point. There's also no, and these are his words, not mine. There's no phobia for Christian hatred. You got Islamophobia, you got anti-Semitism. There's no Christian phobia. And Christians are attacked like constantly. Food for thought. Think it over. Another reason you got to listen to Dennis Prager, and if not, watch his propaganda videos, as the left likes to call them. 5-minute videos. You learn a lot in 5 minutes, and he's got hundreds of them that if you watch a few, some of your viewpoints might change. You're like, well, this is false and propaganda. Name one thing in those videos that is false. I challenge any of you to do so. Most of the people going against it, they say this is misinformation, but again, they never say why. It's weird, very, very weird. So the Manti Te'o doc, to me, that's what I left with, was like, this is an indictment on the media and how the media was changing at the time in the early 2000s. Let's see, no, man, even 2012, I think. So I would watch it for that reason. It dives into a lot of different things, but another thing I took from it was, there's this, like, again, a lot of it comes from the media, this like attack on Mormons. And I've been to the Mormon Tabernacle. I mistakenly signed a guest thank you for visiting card, and when we were on a summer trip, and they ended up calling me and trying to recruit me and everything. And I'm not a Mormon. I'm not in their club. There's a lot of things they believe that I don't, and I don't, want to partake in. But I also have this to say about Mormons. All the Mormons I know personally, Mormon friends, couldn't be better people. Awesome guys, people that met a lot of Mormons in umpiring, and guys that I trust, are trustworthy, hard workers, just great people. And I know some people that lived in Utah and were not Mormon, and maybe there was some mistreatment years ago, but now it's a lot better. And my point of this little rant here is that I really don't have any issues with Mormons, Mormon religion, the Mormon faith. Okay, fine, we can dive into that some other time. But as far as people goes, pretty awesome group of people. And I know they got a history of what's his name? I don't even try not to dive. Joseph Smith and Brigham Young, all these fancy Mormon prophets, and they changed the book. They wrote their own book. I understand all. I don't again get into the religious discussion of it, but a lot of people hear Mormon. Well, that dude's Mormon. And most people, at least the media tries to portray this as this like, oh no. Some hear the word Mormon and they're like, oh no. I hear the word Mormon and I'm like, oh good. And I mean that because family values, and they're extreme in their values. It's like, okay, well, I don't think, again, just my experience of people of the Mormon faith, good people. There's not a whole lot of serial killers who are Mormon, There's a lot of secular ones. Well, maybe Matt, some of them were raised young and then they broke up. Okay, fine. A lot of Mormon, say sexual assaulters, but again, wow, they have the polygamy and all that. Okay, that's all kind of a thing of the past. My point is the fruits that Mormons produce of their tree, the tree. What type of fruit does your tree branch produce? That's what I'm always looking at. No matter where you're from, what your background is, I don't care. It's just an observation of mine. People hear Mormon and they like cringe, and it's like, it's kind of weird because most of the Mormons I know, not most, all the Mormons I know, and I don't know a ton, just great experiences in my opinion. Very respectful people. God and country. It's kind of cool, kind of old school, if you will. Anyway, just an observation. Sometimes when you're okay, this is going to be controversial, fellas. I don't want to feed any fuel or fuel the fire or whatever. A lot of people, they're hanging around their significant other, right? You're watching a movie or something. A lot of times, you have the phone in front of you and you're getting alerts, updates. You pull your phone out, you text. I mean, if you can't send a text message in front of your significant other, then you guys got bigger problems. There's some trust issues for sure. If you can't lay your phone out in front of your significant other, it's like, hey, why would you do that? So my point of this is there are times when I'm sitting on the couch, Val or whatever, watching a game. I'll have my phone face down, and it shouldn't be something that is suspicious. I want to say right now, there are reasons sometimes to have that. It's not because some random woman is going to text me. It's not because I'm afraid of what she might, in the male mind. Sometimes it's just, I don't want a sports update to ruin my sports viewing. Sometimes I'm a few seconds behind. Sometimes a buddy will text me like, hey, did you see that play or whatever? Big news or whatever. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes late in the game, usually there's like under 5 minutes left in a game. That's when I'll kind of flip it over, I'll just get it away from me. And it's not because she's in the room. It's just, it could be nobody in the room. I don't want it. That's the difference between me and maybe some other guys. Is that sometimes I turn my phone over, not because I'm worried some woman is going to text me and say, hey, what are you doing? Let's go out tonight. Because like that'll happen. What's more than likely the scenario is that I don't want some sports update to ruin my sports viewing. It's that simple. It's outside the box, I know, but perception is reality. Sometimes like, hey, why would you do that? It's like, I have a good reason. Oh, okay. That makes sense. You got to explain yourself sometimes. It's these practices aren't for everybody. I'm just saying, every now and then I make a little sense. I don't have to make a ton of sense, but if I make a little sense, I'm all for it. Huge news out of college football, 12-team playoff upcoming in a couple years. I've been saying this for years. What a concept. I am thrilled about this. I've been saying I want 12 or 16. I'll take the 12. Four top seeds get a bye. I think it's time. This whole 4 teams. I mean, what has there been? I think I heard Joe Klatt say there's been 11 teams since the college football playoff started. There's only been 11 teams, 11 schools to participate in the playoff. The 12-team playoff, I think, is more realistic. You can win or you can lose a game or two, still be involved. This will get a team like teams out of the Mountain West to get a shot to play. You know, some of these teams that have really good years to give them an opportunity. I think it's phenomenal. Can't wait. I don't know why they're waiting to do it. It's like, let's just do it now. But anyway, you're going to have, a lot of teams out of the Big Ten and the SEC. That's just how college football is. And but you're also going to get an opportunity for teams like Boise State, teams like San Diego State to get in, maybe win a game. That'd be awesome. Hey, this team won a playoff game, and it's sorry, the bowl system, it's outdated. It's cool for a 8-4 team to go to a bowl game, I guess, to have an extra game. I was always a fan of it as an official because even at the junior college level, hey, you get to work one more game. That's cool. But I think this is good for the sport. It's well overdue. And it's still only going to be 12 teams making the field out of 120 plus, Division I football teams. But it is what it is. You can't go much higher than this. You could eventually go to 16, but any more than that, it's probably not for the best of the sport. The top 25 is a real thing, a real deal in college football, right? With the ranking system. So you're taking about half of those teams, half of the teams out of the top 25. And people always say, well, now the 13th team is going to gripe. Well, sorry. The team who's number 5 has a lot bigger gripe than a team who was number 13, right? Unlucky 13, we'll say. And who's really going to get left out in the mud? Somebody who's is a power team like a Notre Dame. If they have 2 losses, are they going to get left out at 13? I don't know. If they do get left out at 13, then that means we get a lot of good teams that year. And I like that they're taking conference champions too. It makes the conference championship game almost an extra playoff game. Say San Diego State goes undefeated and they lose to a 3-loss Boise State in the Mountain West Championship. I think the conference champion would go. I don't know all the details yet, but I love this. It's beyond time. It'll make the regular season more fun. You won't have as many bad scheduling games as we have now. Alabama, why are you playing Utah State? I know you're playing Texas this weekend. God bless you on the road, but come on, man. Utah State, no disrespect to the Aggies. I love all West Coast football, all of it. And, I just talked about the state of Utah a little bit there. So Utah State goes there and puts up, that's a glorified scrimmage, really. I got to tell you who I got a hammer right now about their schedule. The first 3 games of the season are ridiculous. And this is the UCLA Bruins here in Pasadena, California. They played Bowling Green on Saturday. And I know it was hot in LA, but it was also hot at the Coliseum. They didn't have like 5,000 people at their game like were in attendance at the Rose Bowl. What a joke that was. I don't know if you saw pictures of that. It was so many empty seats there at the Rose Bowl, and they've tried to blanket off, less seating more seating so it looks more full. They've done all kinds of stuff there at the Rose Bowl. An absolute embarrassment to UCLA. They played Bowling Green. They were trailing there in a minute. But I want to talk about the other 2 games that UCLA has on their schedule this year. Southern Alabama and Alabama State. I believe those are the games. Southern Bowling Green, Southern Alabama, and Alabama State. Are you kidding me, UCLA? That's the best you can do with your football schedule. It's going to be a lot different when you go to the Big Ten. I'll tell you that much. That's your schedule. And USC played scheduled Rice. Yeah, but that was 1 game non-conference. I'll give you 1 layup. You get 1. You get a Bowling Green. But then Alabama State and Southern Alabama? Come on, man. What are we doing? Supposed to take your program seriously? I hate that stuff. And we got to get rid of those type of matchups. You get one. And Alabama's guilty as well, but Alabama also plays a lot of tough games in the SEC. You know, middle of the year, they'll play like Troy or someone, and you're like, what are you doing? Come on. We need to stop this. We have to stop the nonsense scheduling there. UCLA, you're trying to be relevant. You're trying to be like, hey, we care about football. We care about football like USC does. Really? Alabama State and Southern Alabama? That's not bad enough. Bowling Green's who you open with? Well, the Pac-12 is really hard. Yeah, okay. Really? Come on, man. That's the difference. And shame on USC. I mean, USC's playing Fresno State in a couple weeks. They also play Notre Dame, obviously. It's not to say the Trojans are without fault, but that's a terrible, terrible preseason schedule for the UCLA Bruins. What a joke. USC looked good last week. A lot of hype around them, but again, it was Rice. No disrespect to the Rice Owls, but that's, again, you're supposed to score 60 on a team like that. The defense scored a lot of touchdowns too, but come on, man. Sorry, I'm not ready for it. They got a real road test here against Stanford this weekend. Looking forward to that game. 4:30 start. I'm going to be able to get home, relaxed, be ready to watch a whole football game. That'll be the true test. Stanford's going to punch you in the mouth like they always do. So we'll see what happens there with the USC Trojans, the first true test. And I would even put Fresno State. That's a decent football game. If UCLA scheduled Fresno State, San Diego State, Boise State, I'd have no problem with it. I'd be like, yeah, those are decent teams. But Alabama State, come on. What are you trying to beat every team in Alabama except Alabama? Who was what's another? Alabama Birmingham wasn't available. Is that what you're saying? I'll move on. Anyway, let me see some games this weekend. Obviously, the big one is the 9 a.m. kickoff, Alabama, Texas. I got to tell you, that's going to be tough delivering packages and watching that game at the same time. Don't turn me in, anybody. I'm going to do what I can. I might be listening on the radio if nonetheless. But the big noon kickoff, I like it. I like what they're doing on Fox, but it's just the 9 a.m. The 9 a.m. games, that's like when you're supposed to see, like, okay, Illinois versus Purdue on ESPN while you're warming up, drinking some coffee, starting your day. You might tune in at the very end. But the big matchups, I'm like, move it to 5 or 1 o'clock. Anyway, Tennessee against Pitt could be a decent ball game. Colorado Air Force, sneaky game there with, I always try to mention the lower level West Coast teams. I like that matchup there. Colorado Air Force should be a good game. 12:30 on CBS. The battle for Colorado is Colorado State's in the mix too, but I think those two teams are definitely the best in the state of Colorado. Let me scroll through the rest here. Nothing else really jumps out and pops as far as scheduling goes. Let me see. Kentucky against Florida, an SEC matchup. That could be decent. We'll see there. Florida with the big win against Utah last week. That was impressive. Utah, man, they had it. They were right there. USC Stanford, as I mentioned, and then Arizona State against Oklahoma State. This could be a preview of future Big 12 matchup someday. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Hawaii against Michigan, kind of a quiet Saturday night other than that USC game, USC at 4:30. Baylor, the number 9 ranked team, comes out to Provo to play the Brigham Young Cougars. That could be a good game. That's probably your best late night game. Although Mississippi State at Arizona, 8 o'clock start on Fox Sports 1. Wow, Mississippi State favored by over 10. SEC after dark. What is that? An 11 o'clock start? 11 p.m. start for Mississippi State fans, or maybe they're on Central Time. I'm not sure. 10 o'clock start. That's a long day to tailgate, man. That's a lot of tailgating. Good luck to the Bulldog fans out there. That should be quite exciting as the Wildcats welcome in some Bulldogs on Saturday night. I can't wait for college football, man, much like I can't wait for tonight's game with the Super Bowl champion Rams and the Super Bowl favorite Buffalo Bills coming into town. It's going to be awesome. Let me see what else I got for you guys. I wrote something else down. Okay, a huge rivalry game in high school football you guys may not know about or even care about, but I'm going to mention it because my show, I can talk about whatever I want. I support football at all levels, and this is the 50th year of a really intense rivalry here in the San Gabriel Valley between the San Dimas Saints and the Bonita Bobcats. The Bonita High School out of Laverne, border San Dimas, a border war rivalry game here. It's called the Smudge Pot. And the Smudge Pot is the trophy that the two schools have played over. In my time officiating in the San Gabriel Valley, this was the biggest game in our area, in our Foothill Citrus unit. It was the two local schools. They used to play it on campus. My first year, I went and watched it at San Dimas. I couldn't believe all the people that were there. I had been to San Dimas High School and seen plenty of full houses, big crowds and things. But what I saw, that was like, wow, this is something. So Bonita San Dimas, check out that rivalry. It's a Smudge Pot here. It says it's an orchard heater. Is an oil burning device used to prevent frost on fruit trees. So it dates back to when this area used to be a bunch of orchards and things of that nature. So it started in 1972 with this football game between the two high schools, and they play for the Smudge Pot every year, man. And it's a huge game. It has since been moved to Citrus College to accommodate the large crowds, and I think that's very fitting. So if you're in the area and you're looking for a good game at a nice venue, Saturday, September 10th at 7:00, the 50th edition of the San Dimas versus Bonita Smudge Pot game. I know people from both schools, alumni and such. This is a huge deal. No matter how bad the team might be, they step up for this game. It's been pretty even over the years. And I always get a text from, I got to work the game a few years ago. It was one of my bucket lists to do, and got to do that. I was absolutely thrilled to do so. And it was a tremendous honor, because it's a big time assignment for sure. With the big crowds and such. So, sorry. Anyway, check it out. Again, if I don't know if you can watch it online or whatever, but be sure to check that out. If you're a football fan like I am, I don't know if I'll be able to get to it, but hey, if you're local, watch USC, Stanford. If that game starts to get carried away, sneak on over to Citrus College and watch the remainder of that game. So big crowds. It basically, I was told one time, the revenue from that game basically funds the entire athletic program for whichever school was the host game, the host venue. Now that they split it, I think it's I don't know how it all works, but anyway, it's a big deal to the community. And I've already seen signs everywhere. I'm actually delivering on Saturdays. My primary route is San Dimas, so I'll be there Saturday morning, driving around, kind of seeing all the anticipation for the game. I don't know if we'll see anything in town and such, but it's a very exciting time, and to the officials assigned to work that game, Godspeed. It's a big time deal, big time assignment. So congrats to them. And yeah, if you're looking for some good football, man, I got to tell you, take advantage of this stuff now while it's happening. High school football is already in week 3. And it's flying pretty soon. It'll be league play and then the end of the season. So it's the fastest 10 weeks or so of the year is high school football, just moving right along. I got to give a shout out to my Citrus College Owls, the junior college I went to. They are led by head coach Brandon Hayashi. He's been on the Get Home Safe podcast before. He has 2 Rio Hondo Prep graduates on that team, Jonathan Guerrero and excuse me, I'm having a mind blank. The tight end. Hello, tight end, number 34. Anyway, it'll come to me while I'm foolishly not remembering his name at this moment. But sometimes when your head gets going, you got a lot to think about. So, but anyway, they won last week over Chaffee in a very close football game. They are led again by Brandon Hayashi, and he's done a great job with that program after playing there and then being an assistant coach there, and now leading their team. I'd love to have him back on maybe for a mid-season update. Alex Vasquez, the tight end for Citrus College, an exceptional tight end for Rio Hondo Prep a few years ago, graduate of played on that 2019 team that was so close, one of the best teams we've ever had, and graduated in 2020. So he's getting an extra year of football here, I'm sure, after some of the seasons were shut down. So congrats to those 2 guys. I know they each contributed to the win. Jonathan got a few carries. Alex had a great catch on a 2-point conversion. So the Citrus cares, the Citrus College cares. doing great things over there. My alma mater right here in Glendora. I'm not sure who they're playing this week, but I should know these things. Anyway, week 2 upcoming. Real Hondo Prep. Those of you who are on the watching the Charge to Keep podcast, be sure to tune in this week. I'm going to have the Boron head coach on the pregame show. I think it's tonight. Yeah, airing tonight, 24 hours before kickoff. And then this Sunday with our recap show, we are going to have more great things. Coach Carson, of course, a player, and then probably a member of the alumni coming on. So that's been a lot of fun, and I'm so thrilled to be doing the Charge to Keep podcast as well as the Get Home Safe podcast here. Same studio, if you will, although looking at SoFi Stadium here right now. So go Rams! Can't wait, guys. They get beaten up tonight. I don't care. They're still Super Bowl champs, and it'll be awesome to see that banner. But a new season starts. There'll be more venting and things of that nature for me here down the road. Enjoy the football season. It's here. Thursday night football with the NFL. I'll be making the trip to Boron tomorrow night to see my Real Hondo Prep Cares in action against the Boron Bobcats, and then hopefully getting through a short, maybe short, long, whatever, work day on Saturday to get home and watch USC. Then Sunday, no Rams, but I got a bunch of other games, 14 other NFL games to tune into. So, man, is this heaven? Is this heaven, as Shoeless Joe asked Ray Kinsella? No, it's Iowa. Speaking of Iowa, 7-3, 2 safeties and a field goal was your final score. That's how Iowa football rolls. I happen to know a very good friend of mine who's an Iowa football fan. Come on, man. That's who SC's got to be afraid of, is 2 safeties. Ooh, that's scary. Anyway, enough out of me, guys. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back next week. More fun-filled talk, more talk about Valerie. Her in closing, one final quote. I told her after some of the quotes she told me, I said, you know what? I wouldn't have a show without you, because I wouldn't have thoughts go through my mind and expressions and reactions to things she says. Our banter is really a show within a show, if you will. So a lot of fun, a lot of love towards her as her birthday is approaching 1 week from today. So next week, we'll be out celebrating, doing something. So happy birthday, Val. Enjoy the last few days here of your year 35 onto, I said her age. I'm sorry. I break all the rules. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. I will see you next week. Be sure to check out the Charge to Keep podcast episode tonight, pregame show, and then, of course, Sunday recapping everything. I know it's a lot of content, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. I love doing it. I love just getting things off my chest, celebrating, and all these things. Anyway, guys, thanks again. Go Rams. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the football all weekend. But as always, guys, no matter what you're doing, whether you're out on the town or around in third base, get home safe.